All right, hey there. Good morning, everybody. It is a few minutes after 11 a.m. Central Standard Time here on the 28th of December 2021 in a very overcast, foggy morning here in Bernie, Texas. Hope y'all are doing well. Looks like maybe everybody's still sleeping off the holiday weekend there. So hopefully, if you celebrate Christmas, hopefully you guys had a fantastic time, a lot of time with family and friends. And guess what? Even if you didn't, hopefully you still had a great time with family and friends. Bitcoin's still doing its thing. The dollar's still doing its thing. Stocks still doing their thing. It just seems like everything's kind of on this teetering edge, of what it's going to do. So we'll kind of take a look at that today and see what we may have going on. Who's here already? Jared the Great. TV Canal is here. Tell you, Ryder. Is that Diego? Blue on Blue, you know who I am. Good to see you guys checking in. Hey, if you've never seen us before, or maybe you want to join or whatever, you can do so here at howtotradetowin.com. We'd love to have you there. Tier 3 is the place to be. It says 80 plus hours of educational video content, but it's well over 150 hours now. You have 3 hours of live stream for Tier 3 members every week, teaching you and going over everything from Wyckoff to Elliott Wave to rules-based systems and everything that you kind of need to learn to be better at these things as you do it. Plus, of course, all our other educational content there. So we'd love to have you there. Who else is here? Keith, what's up, man? Data checking in. Dominic, what's up? Coming in from Germany. I appreciate you guys checking in. And W, what's up? Checking it from North Texas there. Good to see you, man. Let's see here. So we can jump on here to Bitcoin and kind of see what's going on. We did have the rally. So we broke out of last week. If you guys remember, we had this local descending channel and descending wedge here. And so the break out of there, took us out here and carried us impulsively, large volume, large candle spread above the larger descending kind of descending channel. It's not really the way I enjoy it because you've got all these kind of touches at the top here before you get the touch of the bottom. But let me see here. Wave 4, there it is. So let me kind of throw these on the other time frames here as well so you can see them. But you've got this larger descending broadening wedge here that we were watching within this channel. And that's usually what happens when you have a channel is you have a wedge within it. And so, that makes it a little bit better, top, bottom, top, kind of a bottom here, top, bottom. So kind of this back and forth thing here and then across. And now, again, guys, if you look at this, this really is just price doing this right here, right? I mean, in the grand scheme of things, that's all we're doing, right? We've been ranging here since back here around the 4th of December. So what is that, 24 days, just over 3 weeks? We've just been ranging, guys. So I see everybody getting all bent out of shape and stressed out and just emotionally losing it. And really, guys, this is all we've done for the last 3 weeks. It just moved sideways. So what are we looking at now? Well, I think what we've got here is a 1, 2, and then a 1, and then this large flat correction here. And so within that, we've got an A, B, C for A, and then A, B, C for B, and then looking at 5 down here for C, which may or may not be completed, or just, it may push down one more here toward this kind of EQ here, right around 48,000. This is the same thing that I've had over here for a while now since we built this, so this has been since the 19th of December. You've got what was a supply structure here. We rallied right up through it, came back. It's a demand structure now. And so it provided support in here, and we'll see if it can provide support in here again and get that rally back up. So here's the thing. If we can go from there and head on up, as you can see, it's just part of this, you've got this high volume node here we've got to get back above. But the pattern target based on the height of this descending broadening wedge here is right there around 65,991. So if we can get a rally off this area here that breaks out and heads higher, that's what I'm going to be looking at as far as the pattern target goes right there. What else? Well, I mean, so as far as the pullback goes right here, we're just at 50%, guys. So again, no real big deal on this pullback. It's a solid wave two, kind of short, but solid wave two. If we continue, dropping on back here, we may see price coming down toward the S1 pivot, which, as you can see, shares confluence here with this high volume node. And it's right there almost at the 78.6 retracement, which again, solid wave two, right? So nothing really, out there to like freak out about at the moment. The only thing that changes anything really is if we're dropping below wave two over here, which is, let me get this thing out of the way here, 45,515 and 72 cents here on Coinbase. If we drop on down through that, then of course, that'll be invalidated. However, if that happens, I could see the possibility that it would just, everybody, if it drops through here, everybody's going to freak out and say, oh my gosh, we're going down, right? The way I look at this, though, is we've got this WXY down, and we could very well just have, an A, B, C up here. And so this gives us then an A and a B and a C then for just, wave two would still be playing this flat. So I'm not even in the least bit concerned. I wouldn't be in the least bit worried at all about the current, upside potential here, unless we were to drop below here at 42,333. Once we drop through that, then things get a little bit more interesting. I don't think that it's any need to be like freaked out or anything, but at that point, then things become a bit more interesting because then you've got this 1-2 here and we've already got a deep 2 here. So if we're dropping down below that, it seems likely that we drop down below this wave 2 here, which would invalidate it. But for right now, it doesn't seem like that's what's in the cards. And so, like I said, even if we were to drop below this wave circle 2, swing low here, to me, it just sets up an ABC, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And, in that case, we'd be looking for, a little bit below here, maybe that 45,000 area, maybe 44.5, 45,000 as kind of like that wave C and then rally back up there. Yeah, so I mean, nothing really freakish about that or anything. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. Right now, the 1 hour here, as you can see, well, if it picks back up here and rallies back up, then you're going to see that we have this bullish divergence down here. Now, so that ends right about in this area. So there's this little bit right here from right now that it's down, but we've still got another 43, almost 44 minutes left in this hourly candle. So, it could, come down further and then go back up by the time this hour's over with, pull this RSI back up and still leave that bullish divergence there. So I'm going to watch for that. Let's see here. Locally here, if you see this impulsive breakout here above this 1 hour and 4 hour pivot, it's right there around 49,400, 49,410. If you can see a bullish impulsive breakout above that, which means, again, larger candle spread, larger volume as it gets through it, that'll be your first clue that wave 2 is done there, and we're looking at wave 3. And then, of course, you need the breakout above wave B up here at 52,100 to add confidence to that. Right now, let's say there's 1. Let's say this is 2 right here. That would give you a wave 3 right here. It says 57,987, so basically 58,000 would be the wave 3 target on that. And then that would give us a minimum expected wave 5 of 3 target here at 60,292, so basically 60,300. And we'd be set with that. Now, here's the thing. We always talk about this, that your wave 3 of usually your biggest, strongest wave and whatnot. So I would expect that if this count is holding, if this is a 1 and this is a 2 completing here, I would expect a nice strong move up with that wave 3 of 3 here heading up there. And it might even overextend. I wouldn't be surprised to see that at all. So, I mean, that's kind of where we're at the moment here. it seems like it's trying to push down, and you get a lot of demand catches. It tries to push down, a lot of demand catches. It's trying to push down, a lot of demand catches. It's trying to push down again. So it seems like demand keeps showing up, and that may fatigue supply in here, and you get these closer lower lows, which aren't going down as far. So you kind of get that that ending diagonal kind of print, something like this. And so I wouldn't be surprised to see that happening in this area here. So it's just kind of for me, it's just kind of a wait and see thing at the moment. Get some clarification. Like I said, impulsive breakout above this this 4 hour and 1 hour pivot here is what you're looking for to kind of say, okay, well, there's the first clue that maybe that bottom's in there now and we're headed up to that wave 3 target. Oh, let me see here. Who's here? Leighton, what's up, man? Checking in from London. Daniel Mendez, good morning, sir. White R21 is here. I don't know what you mean by a hidden gap. If it's a gap, it's not hidden. You can see it. I think you're way too concerned about gaps, TV Canal. You seem to be treating them all the exact same way, and they're not all the same. They're different. So I'm not sure. A hidden gap at 40 to 45,000. Again, I don't know what you mean by a hidden gap. I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3 gap. I don't know. I don't know what that is. It's possible it's another name for something else, but I don't know. When you say 40, 45,000, that's a pretty large range. And I'm not even sure where you'd be looking at that at 40 to 45,000. So, what's happening? What's going on, man? XRP Bandit, happy holidays, my friend. Good to see you here. Nevlusian, what's up, buddy? So we've kind of got this thing going on here, and so I'm just kind of looking for this move up. Now, again, we've got the 1 hour RSI here down and oversold. Stoke RSI is trying to make its way back down and oversold. It may or may not do that. It may not get there. The 4 hour is it's getting pretty close to breaking down into oversold here. And while the Stoke RSI is bottomed out and oversold, as you can see there, we've still got about 2 hours and 40 minutes left on the 4 hour. So I'm not sure if that's going to make it down and oversold or not, but it's pretty close to it as it is. 15-minute here. We've got this gradually lower lows here and lower highs. We get gradually higher lows, and higher highs coming out of here on the 15-minute. So, I mean, it really does seem like it wants to reverse nearby. The only thing that says anything different than anything is the daily here. Let me kind of take all the rest of this stuff off here. That daily looks ugly right now, but again, it could, end up with a large lower wick, like here or here or whatever, by the end of the day. If we're to find a reversal right in this area we're at, at the end of the day, this could close way up here, and you just have a nice long wick down here. So I'm not too concerned about it at the moment. You'll notice that where we're finding this support right here is at this high volume node. So if we do this, you can see this whole area, this very thick high volume node right here. And so right there, in the middle of that is kind of where we're at here. So, again, it would need to close below kind of this 46, 864 kind of area. It would really need to close below that before I think you really start going, okay, well, maybe this will just be what I was talking about, the 1 here and then A, B, and a C coming down. By the way, that C coming down, I mean, it could find this this daily S2 pivot down here to 44,100 almost. It could target that right there. So again, you got your 1 up here, A, B, C down to here, and then just whipsaws the heck out of it and rallies up kind of like what you're seeing here coming out of that. But, it's much too early to say, to tell if that's going to happen yet or not. Right now, again, we're still kind of, another way to look at this is we're in this daily demand structure right here. So this 23rd of December, this wick, that's all demand down in there. And we're kind of in the middle of that right now. So that's where you're getting all that demand showing up. Just because Stoke RSI on the daily is up here, is pulled back and kind of crossed down here, doesn't mean it has to go down. Again, this is the larger time frame, so we can find that it can stay up there longer terms. You have something like this right here, right? Where it went into overbought, way over here, and then for the next, what is this? Basically 47,745 up to 66. So for $20,000 up, so 50% up, a 50% advance, it just stayed overbought. The Stochastic RSI did. So we could see the same thing happen here. You know, we could see it remain overbought. So I don't want you thinking that just because it's overbought here and coming back down that it has to come all the way back down to the bottom. It could do something similar to here or, you know, here. And just kind of stay up there a bit. But I am watching the daily, though, to see how that does turn out. The best thing I think that could happen on the daily is that by the end of today, this closes up near this S1 pivot on the daily. Leaves a long lower wick there. That would be a great signal for, you know, likely bottom being in and heading back up from that. Can I explain the pivots on the daily? When the S1 declines, it means we will go to test the S2. I guess you mean if you get rejected the S1, it means you'll go. Yeah, generally, if you drop down below a pivot and you get go to retest, you get rejected. Usually it goes to the next pivot down, sure. But again, you can see right here, we went up, rejected the S1, came back down about halfway, put back up, and we made a slightly higher high here, I think. Let me see, 52,100, 52 or 51,995, yeah. So then we kind of broke out here and made a slightly higher high off here, and we're pulling back, and we're just kind of in all this overlap. See, you guys have to understand, when you have all this overlapping here, what it tells you, there's a lot of pockets of overlapping demand. Okay? So there's a lot of buyers overlapping in this whole area here. So it's not a simple, oh, just break right on down through it or anything. It has to get through all these buyers in here. And so they were here and here and here and here and here and here and here. And, you know, so it's all this overlapping. It creates a solid support area. So it doesn't mean the price cannot go down through it, but you have to be aware of it. If you think it's just going to, like nothing, you know, you're not understanding what's going on right here. So this is what we're going to continue to watch as it does there. But yeah, generally, if you drop down through a pivot and then rally back up and you get rejected, you usually look for your next, at the next pivot down, you look for that support to see if you can get a bounce there and a retest. In this case, got rejected here at the S1 pivot area, only pulled back about halfway because of the demand right in here in this wick. Rallied up to a higher high. So now what you have here is you have a low, a high, a higher low, higher high, potentially a higher low still printing here. So you've got bullish market structure off this December 4th swing low. So, again, we'll see if we can find support in this area and rally up to a new high, and that would continue with that bullish market structure there. Common Man Crypto, what's up, man? Good to see you. Let's see here. Let me see here. So anyway, yeah. So that's what we're kind of looking at here. Like I said, all your shorter time, your shorter time frames, your 15-minute, your 1 hour, your 4 hour, they look, about bottomed or nearly so. And so the fact that the daily is up here and overbought isn't as big a deal. We just need to see, okay, do we now get a rally and follow through to a new swing high locally here? And if we can get that, then that's good. That means, daily will probably stay overbought for a bit until we get, the larger pullback. You get a 1 up and then 2 on the pullback. So it just kind of depends what happens at the moment here. I'm not in a hurry. Definitely interested in seeing how this plays out at the moment. So, yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at there. The DXY this morning, we've been kind of watching this here. I've got this, remember, I've got this as a possible triangle here. Potentially wave E is done. We had this move up, this pullback, and then this strong rally up this morning, which gave us, again, like Bitcoin, it's got this little bit higher high. And then it's pulling back. So now we want to see if we can get that impulsive breakout above this pivot, this swing high right here. If we can, then that'll likely mean, okay, now wave 5 of 3 here is in progress. Pattern target If this holds here as the swing low, let me see here. This is 95.996 on the low, 95.990. Okay, so this is the lower one. Looks like we got 5 up and then an ABC back. So it could be 1, 2, 1, 2 coming out here. So 3 of 3 on that breakout through that pivot would make a lot of sense. Again, third of third waves usually being the strongest. And usually what we see happening as we break through a significant area of resistance, which this pivot would be. So we'll see if we can get that to follow up and through there. If the DXY here happens to drop below wave C here, that's supported 95, what is that, 95.851? So if we drop below that, that'll invalidate this triangle as it sits right here. Excuse me. In that case, I think it's possible that we could have a B, and then A, B, and a C still printing. So instead of C being here, it would be over here somewhere. But if that were to happen, if it were to drop below this current wave circle C low here, I would look for that, but it has to reverse prior to. It cannot go down below wave A over here at 95.517. Going below that definitely kicks out all iterances of the triangle there. But if it does drop down below C here, we could still be C, maybe, you know, right here at the S1 pivot or something. S2 pivot. I mean, it could still get down there, but you getting pretty close to wave A there. So, yeah. By the way, this pattern target up here at 97.423 off this wave E here, that's just the pattern target. Price may or may not stop there. Usually when a triangle finishes, one of two things happens. Either you'll get a thrust up and then immediate drop back down, or you'll get some kind of prolonged wave 5, some overextended wave 5 that just kind of grinds up. There's like really no in between. It's usually one or the other on that. So we'll be looking for that when that happens there. Let me see here. Ali, what's going on? Yes, I had a great Christmas. Thank you. I hope that you all had some great time together with family and friends as well there. I cooked up, I grilled up some nice tomahawk steaks, man. If you guys haven't ever had a tomahawk steak, you don't know what you're missing. That's great stuff. But very thick, and you have to cook them just right. But man, oh man, so flavorful. Absolutely amazing. Forget all that ham stuff. I'll go with the steak. Let me see here. 2022 is definitely going to be interesting, I think, as well. So some things that are happening here in the U.S. In case you guys haven't been paying attention, and you might have remembered me talking about this. Remember, the student loan thing has been postponed. Your payments have been postponed here in the U.S. It ended up going through a few different iterations there in 2021. And it was supposed to start back up. You're supposed to have to start paying back your student loans here at the end of January of 2022, right? Well, they the White House just pushed that back again, as I would suggest they probably would, to now May, sometime in May, the beginning or middle of May, somewhere around there. I think it's the beginning of May. So if you are in the U.S. and, you've got student loan payments, they're going to continue to not require a payment until then. If you can pay it, obviously I'd suggest, throwing a few bucks out there, anything to help bring down that principal. Right now, I don't believe I think the interest charge is being suspended still as well. So there's been no interest accumulation on those loans while it's been in this whole thing for the last year plus now. But yeah, that was the thing I was talking about, especially as we got through the end of summer. Remember, we were talking about how the rent moratorium and mortgage moratorium was rolling off, and how we still had the moratorium on student loan payments. And I said, coming up the beginning of, coming up into 2022, the end of January there, when they expect to do it, I said, I'm not sure they're going to do that. I said, I think they might end up extending it further just because of, everything's going on. And then, of course, we get Omicron now going through there. Omicron, they're saying it spreads a lot faster, but it's not as serious. I believe we just had our first death here in Texas, in Houston, from it within the last few weeks. But I think, we're having all these issues with supply chain stuff due to COVID and all these bottlenecks, and then the truckers, lack of truck drivers supposedly and whatever. I think we might see an increase in that bottleneck still. If Omicron keeps spreading like it is, you're seeing places that are starting to require mask indoor again in certain states, certain counties. Again, that's the reason. Omicron's the reasoning the White House is giving for suspending student loan payments right now as well. We've got all that Omicron cases flaring up. That and the weather now kind of wreaking havoc on travelers during the holidays here. So I mean, we've got a lot of that same stuff going on. It's just this continuing thing, and so I really don't see. I really don't see there being a lot of driver for continuing strong rallies in stocks and whatnot. I think it's just lingering effects of what people have been in, but again, yesterday, even though the indices rose, I believe they had, I think it was on higher highs. I think more than half of them closed, if I remember right, more than half of them closed down. The stocks did for the day, even though we had the higher highs. So that's not a good sign. You generally want to see, if you're getting higher highs, you want to see advancing shares more than declining shares. So you want to see over half of your shares closing higher rather than closing lower. If you start to get that divergence, we talk about divergences a lot of ways in trading, right? This is another one of those divergences we pay attention to. If you're making higher highs, like your index is making higher highs, but the number of shares advancing is less than the number of shares decreasing, then there's not strength to continue pushing up. Basically, what you're saying is there's a few of them that are keeping it rising higher, but most of them are not. And so that's not the one you want to see broad. You want to see broad advancement, guys, when it comes to like stocks and stuff like that. And we're not really getting that to too great an extent. Let me see here. Speaking of which, Common Man's talking about the monthly candle on the Dow Jones, huh? Let's see what you're looking at. I haven't looked at the monthly on the Dow Jones. Let's see here. The Dow Jones 1 month right here. You're looking at this right here. I don't know that I would say it would be very bullish. And I say that because of this right here. So you've got a pullback, and then higher, and then a pullback, and then if we get higher, it's kind of like, it seems like maybe it would be a like overlapping ending, like an ending diagonal type thing, right? Because you've got the rally up, pullback, rally up, pullback, rally up. If it was just like this right here, where you had the pullback and then you had the rally up, then I would say, okay, maybe it's more bullish. But this overlapping area here kind of concerns me. So I'm not sure that it would be very bullish if it broke out, if it closed above that all-time high there. But it might suggest that it might have some bit higher to go still. Yeah. But that's what I would look at in that particular area right there. If I look at this, if I just try and eyeball this here, it looks like maybe like a 1-2, and then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 3, 4, and then 1, 2, and then you get a 3, 4, 5, and it doesn't seem like it would be that much higher coming out of there. If I was just to count this on the monthly here, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2. Maybe 3, 4, 5 still going on here. Something like that. Yeah. Edward Park, good to see you checking in. Let me see here. Let me kind of keep catching up with you guys here. Elon can't run for president? Yeah, I'm glad of that. Let me see here. There's a lot of, one of the craziest things probably as far as the U.S. goes is, Biden's got these terrible numbers right now. Absolutely. And I'm not trying to get anybody riled up here or anything. I'm just talking, facts here. Biden's got really bad I I wouldn't be surprised if Trump ran for president again in 2024. And I think that if Biden doesn't get his numbers up somehow, I think there's a real strong chance that Trump may win. And I'm not saying that I think that's what should happen or whatever. I'm just saying I think that's likely what really may happen there. The problem with the Democrats right now is they've got, you've got your progressives and you've got your moderates, and they can't get it together. They're still kicking that can down the road. So at the beginning of December, they were supposed to, sign in the spending bill for the U.S., right? And so instead of doing that, again, a temporary holdover until February now. And the Republicans are just like, well, we're just not going to agree to it, and they're stepping back, which means all the Democrats have to do is agree, and they can pass, right? I mean, they have to pass it under the special thing that I've already talked about, which means that they can't just throw anything they want into it. But nonetheless, the progressives and the moderates on the Democrats, they can't come together, and I think that. That is really not going to bode well for their party, coming up in 2024, which leaves it open to Donald Trump. And like him or not, there's a lot of old people, especially, that like him, because things are so different today than they were when, say, my parents were kids, right? And, the older people today are very much like in Gran Torino, Clint Eastwood, get off my lawn kind of thing. And so then they happen to believe that, Trump's different and whatnot than everybody else. And, it's a real crap show, the whole politics thing right now. But, that in itself could make things interesting for the stock market. I think that's instability at its finest right there. And, the stock market doesn't like, the markets themselves don't like instability. So I think that's something we have to watch out for here, now that 2022 is rolling up on us, coming up. Just remember, guys, whether you like Biden or Trump or neither or both or whatever, just, be kind to each other, guys. At the end of the day, believe it or not, it's really you and your neighbor who thinks opposite of you as far as politics go, against those who are in control. It's really what it is, guys. So don't lose your humanity just because somebody doesn't agree with your particular political stance. All right? Regarding the steak, what grade best steak I ever had was a 32-ounce USD prime bone-in ribeye. Oh, yeah, man. I'll tell you what. There are some really good cuts of steak. Honestly, I don't remember what those were. My sister actually bought them. I didn't have to buy them. But they were about, let me see here. They were about $60 a piece. So yeah. Good quality stuff. But the tomahawk steaks are cut from like one of the best areas. And so it just, has just the right amount of fat in it. So, sorry, just trying to think about this. Starting to get hungry again. But I didn't even check. I think it's probably, yeah, the pricing, it's a really good grade, but honestly, I didn't even get to see it. It was already pulled out when I got it, so I'd have to ask my sister about that. Let me see here. Let's kind of catch up with you guys. Let me see here. Digital Mining Solutions, what's up? Good to see you. Could I share my thoughts on Luna? You're looking at 75 to 78. For a great long opportunity, if you're looking at Luna USDT, let's see here. Oh, let's see here. This is going to continue to follow down here, so this will probably be right about here. It's probably finishing up. Wave 4 here. Which looks like that'll get us closer up here to the R2 pivot. And, this could continue down toward the S1 pivot down here. So, again, either from this area to the S1 pivot, I think, is where it's probably going to reverse at. I've got this as a flat right here. And so that's kind of what I'd be looking at. Kind of like try to see if we can get a reversal out of here. All up here to the R2 pivot. Which you said you were looking at what? The 70... I got to find out where your thing when it just scrolled on me. 75 to 78. That gets you a little bit below that. But right around that S1 pivot, yeah. I'd say it's probably a likely place. You know, again, you drop down through the pivot. You look for that S1 pivot. If you can get that rally back up above the pivot and that swing high right there, that should indicate, okay, hey, yeah, we're headed up toward that area there. But that I've got that just as wave 3. So basically what you'd be looking for is a wave 3, wave 4 pulls back, wave 5 up, kind of thing. See, I think you're probably kind of close to an area there for long on that. I'm not so sure I'd be interested in 61.8 though, because it is a wave 4 here, which for me that wouldn't be the 61.8. Let's see here, where are we at? That's the 23.6 right there in that area. So again, I've got that as a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 maybe. There's a 3, 4 for a 5. 1 is right here around that 78 area. So with this being a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, this wave 4, I don't know, that wave 4, it's got room to come on down. It just can't get down into wave 1 over here. At 54.95, stay above that. But I mean, if we're looking at the 1 hour here, you know, again, we're oversold RSI. Stochc RSI dropped into oversold. 4 hour, we're about to hit oversold on RSI. Our Stochc RSI is already oversold. Daily, we're pulling back here, but you know, could see that movement up and just kind of, you know, kind of something like it did here. You pull down, you don't get to oversold, but you turn back up. We see that heading on there as well. So, yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at the moment here with Luna. There. I did review BTC, Jan. You can scroll back to the beginning of the show. It's the first thing I did. Let me see here. Oh, just kind of catch with y'all here. Lewis Winthorpe, what's up, man? Says, wouldn't get a cleaning job for any secure government agency with Trump's background and character. Yeah, nothing stopping from running for president again. Like I said, guys, I'm not here to tell you that, that I think he should be there or shouldn't be there or whatever else is going on. I'm just talking about, again, with the way that people tend to vote and the way that politics tends to work. And Biden just having no luck of anything with his what do you call it? His current approval rating. I mean, it's so just awful right now. And you know what's funny is a lot of these presidential, these presidents that are in there, a lot of their approval rating is based on things that they really don't have any control over. But they tell you they do so that you vote for them. And then, things don't happen the way that they're looking for them to happen, right? It's the bane of politics, really. By the way, we've hit the 61.8 here. So again, we're going to kind of see if we can get this movement up here. It's kind of this area of resistance and support. That's kind of where we're at here. This 1 hour is falling more than what Stochc RSI is falling. Stochc RSI is just having a tough time pushing it down, which leaves it open to more down possibly. That 4 hours almost getting in there. Still got another 2 hours left. So, again, it might make it all the way down here to the S1 before we finally get that reversal back up. So, looking at that. Let's see. Kind of catching you guys. Not a butcher, you just watch videos. Common man. Let me see here. Bill, what's up, buddy? He says, best cuts of steak are T-bone, porterhouse, ribeye. Ribeye is a great choice for beefy flavor. Filet mignon, New York strip. Oh, yeah. Man, see, you're making me hungry talking about all that steak there, man. I'm from Texas. That's all we do down here is steak. Except in Austin. They eat grass and other vegetables in Austin. The rest of us eat steak. I'm just teasing Austin a little bit. Everybody does here in Texas. Let me see here. What about .USDT? Let's see here. What we got on .USDT? See if we can pull something up here. I've got it as wave 2 finish down here. Let me see here. Yeah, you may have a 1 and working on a 2 on a pullback here. So I'm looking for an impulsive rally back above this swing high right here, which is 29.90. If we can get an impulsive rally breakout above that, that'll say that's probably the bottom's in. This makes a good place for the bottom. You've got this this support right here coming at this previous area resistance. Breaks out, comes back, creates more support right there on top of it. And that's where we're at here. So, I mean, it can go lower into this, and that would be fine. But I would definitely not be surprised to see a rally out of this area heading up there. But if we can get an impulsive breakout above that swing high, right, that interior swing high right there, that should be a good clue that we're probably 1, 2 here, and then looking for 3, which, you know, from the kind of the area we're at here, they look up there around 43.30. Wave 3 itself has a minimum expected target up here of 82.56. So 1, 2, and then 3 up there. So we'll see how this plays out. As long as wave 2 holds here as the bottom, we're going to continue to look for higher up on it. Kobe beef is amazing, yes, and you do pay for it though. Oh man, yeah, that stuff is amazing. But again, you do pay for it quite expensively. Steak is nature's perfect food. I agree. Brian Allen, good to see you back, man. Let me see here. XRP. Yeah, I can take a look at XRP. Let's see here. What we got going on here? Let's see. I've got this as 1, 2, minimum wave 3 up here at this high volume node right around 1.26. This may be a 1, 2, 1, 2 here. We're about to get into oversold here on the 4 hour. Again, with about 2 hours left, so we could see a pullback here to the S1 maybe. So what I'm looking for is impulsive breakout above this 0.95543. If we get that, that says, okay, the bottom's probably in and we're heading up. Like I said, though, if this is a 1, 2, 1, 2 here, this wave 3 is going to go higher. If we pull back all the way to the S1, wave 3, instead of being here at 1.2609, is going to be up here closer to 1.33959. Basically around that wave circle B resistance would be wave 3 there. Because this would be 1, 2, 3 up at 1.24, 4 on the pullback about 1.082, and then 5 up there. So that just would extend this 3 up there. So, you know, again, as long as it remains above wave 2 here, we should be looking for it to go higher. If it breaks down below wave 2 there, it may be printing a flat. I mean, my first thought is going to be a flat. So we'd have a 1 and then an ABC down for A, ABC up for B, and then 5 down, which would likely target this S2 at 0.72934. And break down below that gives you the EQ of this demand structure here at about 0.685. But if that were to happen, I would expect a strong rally back up. A nice, strong, significant rally up. If it were to break down below that wave 2 to that S2 4-hour pivot or that demand structure EQ right there. We expect to have a nice, strong rally back up. So yeah. How's the share price of Beyond Meat? You know what? I haven't looked. After we made all that money on it last year, or the last 2 years, I guess, I haven't really even looked at it. Let me see here. What is it? There we go. Oh, I guess I haven't really. I guess I did it back here in November. I didn't even pay attention to that. Let's see here. So yeah, so we're just kind of moving sideways right here, right in this previous area of, support resistance. Kind of pull this line across here. And so this is kind of interesting here. Yeah, I'm just trying to see how that's playing out there. That's the daily. What's that weekly look like? Oh man, that weekly looks great. Look at this weekly. Well oversold here. Just breaking out of oversold here. So I think even if it was dropped a bit more, I think it's probably close to bottoming out here. We're going to see that kind of take up there. If it continues to come down here, I mean, I would look right here at this weekly demand structure right here, right about 57.5 is where I'd look for it to potentially catch a bid and really just kind of rally up through all that. I guess we could potentially be seeing a leading diagonal here. So like A, B, C is 1, 2. And then maybe A, B, C is 3, 4. And then A, B, C is 5. So that would give us this something like this. Oops. And that explains the strong rally and then the drop back down, right? And so actually, you know what? Let me see here. If I count this, I go, okay, well, there's 1, 2. Gotta change these up a little bit here. So you got 1, 2 here, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, right? I messed that up. Let's back up here. There we go. So right here, you get this 1, 2, and then you get a 1, 2 here. And then 3, 4, 5. 3. A, B, C, D, E. That might be a triangle right there. So you go A, B, C, D, E. See, where's the low here? Is it this one? 120.55. 21, yeah, so it'd have to be this one here. Like I said, that'd be 3, that'd be 4 there. And then this would be 5, which gives you an ABC down, ABC up, so you've got a flat now, right? And so ABC down is A, ABC up is B, and then maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 get you down here. And that would allow it to fall just a bit further to get down toward this swing. That'd be a deep retracement, but could still be. Yeah. I mean, you've just basically got this large range here is what you have, right? So basically just have this kind of range going on here. So again, you make this move down toward the lows and then rally back up. So this might be, printing a triangle here as wave 4, and then wave 5 ends up getting right into this upper area. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. So we'll see if we don't get a little bit further move down here on this. 3 days low already. Daily's high there. What do we got as far as the daily goes there? And you've got basically a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. But all this overlap here is not conducive to anything fantastic. It could be a 1 with a flat correction here. So a 1 getting a 2 over here, 3 back. But you're going to need to see a nice impulsive rally above this 70.33 right here to kind of be the very first clue that, well, maybe it might be done on that. Going on there. So, yeah. That fake meat. I'll be honest, I've never had it. I don't think I ever will. It just gives me the heebie-jeebies, man. I don't mean that as offensive to anybody that eats it. Just me, myself. I don't know. Anytime I think about it, just... No. It doesn't give me good feelings. I think the worst things, so yeah, I probably won't be trying it. Tail, what's going on, man? Good to see you there. Could I comment a little bit on the price action of Euro USD? It's just been ranging for an eternity, it seems now. Looking for an impulsive down. Exactly, yes. Just the opposite of the DXY. Just the opposite of this, right? So your USD. So if we're going to get this impulsive rally up through here, you're going to see Euro USD impulsively move down. It's basically the same kind of count, just the opposite with the Euro USD and the DXY. So yeah, as I'm expecting this to potentially rapidly move up, impulsively move up, I'm looking for the Euro USD to do the opposite, obviously, to go down. So yeah. Let me see here. Kind of catch up with you guys here. Let's see here. If Euro USD is a triangle, it could indicate a possible end of something because triangles are trauma. Exactly. Yeah, it would be your fourth wave. So kind of like I have it here, where I've got this as a wave 4 here. And this would be wave 5 of 3. And so my expectation would be that we'd get this move at least up to here. And then it would come, and so that would be 3, and 4 would come back down toward where 4 is in this area. And then 5 would, continue higher there off that. Matter of fact, if we were just to hit this pattern target here, if wave 4 as a triangle is done, and we were just to hit the pattern target to complete it, that should look for this pullback here. Again, toward this previous wave 4 support here, which is the end of the triangle. And that would likely get us a wave 5 target up here, kind of right around this 98.3132 area. So now remember, guys, the one thing I talked about, let me kind of pull this other DXY chart here real quick. When we made this potential bottom down here, I talked about how usually currencies will reverse, at the beginning of the year. And of course, this was right here around, I think, the 6th of January. And this is where we've been moving up ever since, right? So, it's possible coming up into January here that we could get that final move up. And then price could just, for the next year go down, right? But there's no guarantee that it has to. Sentiment was extreme over here. Again, the thing that I pointed out time and time again here was how offsides bears were here. They were one of the highest bearish levels ever, well over 90% bearish, right? And I said that historically, and I showed you on the chart, that's where we get those reverses, right? And then it being the beginning of the year. And so we got all that. Now up here, we don't have that extreme extreme sentiment up here like we did down here right now. So we don't have this extremely everybody very bullish up here. So because of that, we may not see this reversal. It may just be a simple pullback, again, within my count, which has, wave 3, then we'll have wave 4, and then we'll have wave 5, and then that'll just be a 1, 2, 3 kind of going up, right? So, it is the beginning of the year. We could see that potential reversal there, but again, not showing that same sentiment extreme that we had at the beginning of this year, which helped reverse that, right? We don't have that strong 90% bullish on the dollar kind of thing up here. Everybody still keeps talking all year long. They've been talking about, oh no, it's going to come back, it's going to come back, it's going to come back. And nobody's really kind of taken the position, okay, well, maybe the dollar's going to continue rallying. And I think part of that has to do with everybody's so concerned about inflation, and the rise of prices and whatnot, that they can't see beyond that when it comes to the dollar. But the reality of it is, the U.S., the Fed in the U.S., is talking about and taking steps to do the things that the ECB is not doing. The ECB is taking the opposite approach, right? They're like, we're going to keep pumping money out. We're going to keep pumping money out. We don't want to pull it back too soon. We're worried about you guys. So we're going to keep pumping money out there. The Fed's like, hey, we're slowing down that spigot, man. And now we're slowing down twice as fast now. Now we're talking about, the dot chart there showing that the averages between the board of governors there is looking at, 3 interest rate hikes throughout 2022. And so, you can say all these things that you want about, your thoughts about inflation, all this stuff. But at the end of the day, the one currency that's going to have a major impact on what this DXY does is the euro. Remember, it makes up 58% of the weighted value of the DXY. So if the ECB isn't doing something similar at the least, then there's no reason to really think that the dollar is going to continue, is going to turn down and go lower. Because the DXY is basically opposite of the Euro USD. So as long as the ECB continues to pump money out there and says, hey, we're going to keep doing that, the value of the euro against the dollar, and especially if the dollar, if the Fed continues to say, hey, we're going to, continue to speed up taper here, and we're going to potentially be looking at 2 or 3 rate hikes in the next year. I mean, that's extremely bullish for the dollar. Just alone. And then with the ECB doing the opposite, that's even more bullish for the dollar. So, yeah, I mean, right here, again, we pulled back to the, the daily pivot here, and we're rallying back up off that, looking again, making this potential triangle here, looking for that breakout. Now, this daily pivot here is going to change at the end of the week, when next year begins, right? So if we zoom out here to the weekly, you can see on the weekly here that we have, where's those pivots? Oh, not showing up on my weekly here. That's weird. Huh. Anyway, so for whatever reason, it's not showing up here at the moment, but, they're going to change, at next year, right? Oh, there it is right there. Boom. There it is. So even though we had this nice impulsive breakout here above the weekly pivot, monthly pivot, they're about the same area. It doesn't mean a whole lot because, again, these pivots are going to change next year. All this sideways, I don't know that it'll necessarily change a whole lot. If we're looking at the weekly here, or the monthly here, here's some interesting stuff. You can see that we're finding resistance right here at this ascending channel EQ area. Potential tweezer tops here, potential. But the pullback's been very minimal. As a matter of fact, the pullback, it got rejected at that ascending channel EQ, but it found support at this large range EQ here, which has been in, since back here in 2014. So basically, price is just ranging between these two EQs right here. So if it's finding support here and it busts out above here, there's little to no reason to think it's not going to head up toward the top here. I would give it an initial target of, get out of the way there. There we go. Just kind of draw this in here real quick. Oh. Let's see. Let's make this show up here. There we go. And so initial target on this monthly would be this EQ up here at about 102.4, 102.3. So if we can get an impulsive breakout above this swing high right here, this ascending channel EQ, initially I'm looking for this, this area right here. And I mean, realistically, I'd be looking for something, like that, right? To break out of there. So, ultimately we're still below this this high back over here in July of 2001. And this one up here, of course, way back here in November of 85. But I mean, again, if you're looking at this descending kind of channel here, you're looking at maybe something like this here. And so, again, bear trap down here, boom, comes up, retest, continues up, breaks out above, comes back to that EQ, that descending channel EQ, breaks up. It comes on down here, continuing up, it finds support here in this congestion, rallies up. I mean, that's kind of where things are at the moment here. So, yeah. Let me see. Why would I buy energy in a bear market? Or, well, not oil anyway. Usually if oil's topping out, that's the top of the bull market. Oil's often the canary in the coal mine, so to speak. I would look at municipal energy operators, local municipalities. I'd be more interested in buying that than major oil companies or anything like that in a bear market. Yeah, because they're overall, if it's a bear market, that means everything's toning down. People are losing jobs. The economy's, coming down. Less travel. Less just spending on other things, whatever. So less goods are requested, are bought, which means less need for oil. Oil's in plastics and whatnot. Less travel, so less need for oil. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even be thinking oil in an economic downturn. Like I said, local energy municipality stuff is what I'd probably be looking at, because people are still going to need to have electricity, right? So yeah, I think natural gas is off something like 40 or 45% off its highs now. We've got so far we've had a pretty easygoing winter here in the U.S. Lake Tahoe just broke a huge record. They had something like 16 feet of snow. So Lake Tahoe's getting some snow, but I think we made a record high on Christmas Day, almost 80 degrees here in San Antonio, Bernie area. So yeah, crazy things, right? Do I still think that Bitcoin and DXY can move together for a bit? Yeah. Again, it's not going to be, an automatic, the minute it moves, the other one moves the other way. People are still blindly just putting money into Bitcoin because they think that it's going to be the next reserve currency, and they think that it's a hedge against inflation. They think all these things that aren't really, where it's at. So people are still just kind of mindlessly, blindly kind of putting it in there. But it's what it is, guys. You get to a market and you have a lot of new people in, and they don't really know what they're doing, and so they're just going to kind of jump in there with the narrative. They see everybody else, according to them, they think everybody else is making all this money, trading, and it's really just a few people. And of those, a lot of those are even lying about it. But, new people coming in, they think, I need to do this so I can be rich. And they have no clue what they're doing. And it's all emotional. It's no risk management. Is what it is, right? By the way, as far as DXY goes, remember, we've got this possible double-headed left shoulder, two heads, right shoulder, kind of inverse head and shoulders here. And that target is up here at about 98.725. The swing target on this blue range right here is going to be up here at around 97.77. So, yeah, we've got that kind of going on there as well. So, I mean, Nothing happened on the dollar. It makes me think that it needs to reverse anytime soon. You know, reverse, not just pull back, but reverse. At least at this point, it seems to be doing what expected it to do. You know, since the beginning of the year. So we'll see if we continue to get that. I think a lot of people who are looking for the dollar reverse are just stuck on this whole idea of what's going on with you know what they think inflation is and how they think inflation works, and you know, the rising prices have them scared. And you know, again, everybody's been romanticizing the death of the dollar, guys, since Bretton Woods. So what is this, 50 years now? And I mean romanticizing it. I mean it's their thing. The dollar's gonna die, but it doesn't show any reason why it should die anytime soon. Again, everybody talk about hyperinflation, but I've already been through that. You know, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And yet, you know, nobody wants to look at what's actually going on with the chart, right? So, I mean, there's nothing you can do with it. You just kind of keep going with what you think is going to go on there, right? And then kind of seeing, okay, well, if it does this, how does that affect everything else? If the dollar does continue to rise, then we should expect the markets to, at some point, reverse, right? But it takes this whole larger group of people, these larger, more well-heeled group, so more money, because they have control of more money at one time, right? And it takes them finally going, okay, you know what? I need to stop because I'm going to be losing money here, or I'm losing the value of my money as this is continuing to do this, and you know, whatever's going on. You know, because the DXY is going up, and then, you know, eventually the stock market, everything will reverse and head down. And at first, everybody's going to continue to be, oh, buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip, until it's gone too far, and by that time, it's going to be too late to get out, and it's really going to come down. And so, you know, in that area there, these larger, more well-heeled players will be looking to exit, you know, stocks and crypto and whatnot. That's it. But it takes a buildup of this right here, right? It takes a buildup of this. As the dollar advances and continues to gain in strength, like I said, there's no extreme right now saying, oh, yeah, everybody's bullish. Most people are still pretty bearish, it seems, on the dollar. But when that sentiment starts changing, start becoming bullish on the dollar, then, you know, they know what's going to happen, you know, as far as it's going to continue up in value, which makes everything else kind of come down, right? You know, the stock market's going to go, and then crypto and whatever. And so then you'll see them exiting those markets and position themselves more in the dollar, or at least the TLT kind of protection there. Yeah. So yeah. Again, stocks and Bitcoin doesn't tank because stocks tank. They both tank because everybody in COVID, there was the flight to safety, the flight to the dollar, and that everybody pulled out of those things and went into the dollar, went into TLT, did those things. That's why they went down. But Bitcoin didn't drop because the stocks dropped. It's one thing I keep trying to get you guys to understand. Bitcoin doesn't move because stocks move. They both move because of what's going on with the dollar and everything else in that area. It really, not even so much the dollar. It's the dollar is just this physical representation of risk. If the dollar's rising in value, it's a more risk-off environment. If the dollar's dropping in value, it denotes a more risk-on environment, because people are taking their dollars and put them in other things. They're risk-on, they're risking, right? If the dollar's going up, people are putting their money into dollars. They're keeping dollars, they're holding dollars. And so, you know, that caused that value to rise. Yeah. So, yeah. It's not. I don't. You know, guys, I don't know. I've been doing this a long time. I've got a certain level of education and all, but I don't know that that Bitcoin's ever really going to be anything more than just another kind of asset class, kind of like gold and silver and, you know, and oil, you know, commodity, kind of like that, I guess. I'm not sure Bitcoin will ever hit monetary status. Yes, you can buy things with gold, Bitcoin, but that doesn't make it money. It's just basically a trade, right? I can trade, gold bars, but that's more money. I can trade a nice painting for something, right? I can trade a nice car for something, right? And that's kind of how you should be seeing Bitcoin right now. There's way too much volatility with Bitcoin right now for it to, reach that definition of money. And I've talked about this so many times before. The last thing somebody wants is to have Bitcoin as money, where one day it can be 20% less than it was the day before. And then all of your immediate response is, oh yeah, but it could be 20% more as well. Well, yeah, that's all great and dandy, but when you have bills that you have to pay each month that are definitive, your rent doesn't go up and down. It's there, right? Or it may go up. So to try and use, to have Bitcoin as currency, and 1 month it's down 50%, and you still got to pay that rent. You still have to buy those groceries. You still have to pay that car loan or whatever. I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense, guys. You have to be realistic about this. So, yeah. What do I think about the rising wedge in Bitcoin? Daily, weekly? Let me see here. Where are you talking about? Are you talking about like right here? Right there? Right now, if it's a wedge and it's completed, you should have a sharp drop off. Okay? Wedges end with sharp drop offs, or if they're descending wedges, they end with sharp rallies. Because you have price action consolidating as it gets to the end of that wedge. So price is building up, all that pressure is building up, and boom, it hits. Yeah. Right now, I just see this as sideways. I think that's the best way to see this. Stepping out here to the weekly, you can see this. Look, all we've got, so you have this rally up here, and it builds a support right here, right below this previous resistance, right? And then it breaks out above, and it comes down and finds support right in this support area, right? Which the bottom end is right here at this swing high area. Top end's up here at this support area. So all you do really is you have this support, and you have this support in the same area, right? Here. And then you have this support up here, and then you have this support between it. And all we've done is pull back into this support between it. And looking at the weekly here, we moved up, and then we pulled back, and then we've got this bullish engulfing candle right here. So we'll see if we don't push up higher there. But I think people don't really look at those sorts of things, right? People don't really look left and try to understand what's going on there, right? So let me just add this person to block list there. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I'm looking at there. Again, it looks like, sideways here. So, I mean, quickest count, you look 1, 2, 3, 4, working on 5, right? So we'll see what happens. But again, I mean, right now, just looking at it, it's just a quick look there. I mean, all we did was drop into support and then got a major, demand was showing up, large wick, pulled back halfway into the wick, which is what usually happens. Printed tweezer bottoms, printed bullish engulfing candle last week. All we need is a breakout above this level right here. You see how it's right up here with this? So you've got this swing high, this swing low right here, this swing low right here, right below that swing high right here. We just need to break out above that. 50, what's this swing low here? 53,327. So yeah, I mean, if you're breaking it impulsively into that, we should continue up higher. Right? Anyway, so that's what I'm looking at there, and it is well past what I usually say I'm going to do here lately, so I'm going to get out of here, guys. Bitcoin, we'll just be looking for that reversal. That 1 hour is finally dipped down into oversold on the Stochh RSI. Like I said, we're down there around that 61.8 kind of retracement area. So see if we can get a nice movement back up there. Maybe look for a breakout above this descending resistance as the very first early clue that the bottom may be in. But you need to see an impulsive breakout above the 1 hour and 4 hour pivot here. That'll really be the first clue that bottom's in. And then you want to see follow through wave B up there at 52,100. And that'll get you, up here around 58,000 for that wave 3 from right now. About that area. Minimum wave 3. All right. So as always, guys, man, I really appreciate y'all checking in. There won't be a stream on Friday. Again, it's New Year's Eve. So we're going to close the office early. We're just going to do the morning updates for Discord. And then we'll be closed for the day. And then everything will be back to normal. It should be, I believe, there next Monday. But as always, you guys can join us over there, howtotradetowin.com. We'd love to have you there. Like I said, even if you just do it for a month, man, there's so much more information there than you can absorb in a month. But just be prepared to take up as much as possible. You can get yourself on a really, really great start to trading properly, proper risk management, all these other things, by taking advantage of that month that you're in there, all right? As always, remember, the only thing you control in the market is how much you lose, all right? So I'm telling you guys, no matter what we talk about here, the most important thing is risk management, and that includes looking for the higher confidence trades, not entering just because there's a chance. That's all part of your risk management, okay? So get better at that, learn some patience, and it'll pay off a lot more for your trading. Happy New Year to everybody. I hope you guys have a fantastic last week here of 2021. Step into 2022 lightly. Nobody say it's your year, okay? Let's just kind of ease into it quietly, pretend that nothing's going on, and we'll see if we can't make it a better year than 2021, all right? All right, you guys have a great week. Take care, and I'll see you guys in 2022. Take care.